So LaserPecker was nice enough to send me their new fiber laser engraver, and this thing's pretty interesting seeing that it can engrave extremely fast on metals and plastics. And here's everything out of the box, and as you can see there's not really much in here. And according to the instructions, it's only a couple screws to put this whole thing together. And this is just to attach the top to the base. And with those put together, the actual laser part itself is put on with just a thumb screw. So surprisingly, overall a very quick and easy assembly. And this is the engraving plate for the bottom of the machine, and it kind of just sits in place. And when it comes to all the cables on the back, it's just a power plug, a data cable, and one more USB to control the focus of the laser. And that's all done by using this switch on the top of the machine to raise or lower the laser, because you're looking for a focal point of 130 millimeters away from your object. And you might have noticed that the bottom of this has a bunch of threaded holes, and these are actually for alignment tools. This way you can set it up and do multiples of things exactly the same every time. So with this thing all set up, let's actually try using it. And to do that, I'm going to use the phone app first. And just to make sure everything is working properly, I'm going to use an example file, and from here you have some options like resolution and how big it is. And with that done, you can pick what material you're going to be engraving on, or just put in your own custom settings. And whenever you're using a laser, make sure you have some sort of ventilation setup, because you are burning or vaporizing things. And you really don't want to be breathing all this stuff in, seeing that it's probably toxic. And this is it working in real time, at 1K resolution. And this is a fully filled image, so it took about 2 minutes in total to finish this. So let me fast forward this and show you the end result. And there we go, it came out nice and crisp, and you can even feel the slight bit of material that it removed. One cool thing about this laser is it shows a preview with a laser box, so you can see exactly where you're going to be engraving. And there's also these two little laser lights that will help you focus the laser without measuring. So moving it up and down with the buttons I showed earlier, you want both of the laser points to converge on one another, and once you do that, you'll be able to engrave at this height. So this is real-time engraving on white plastic, and you can see it's moving a lot faster than before, but it's also not very dark, so it's a little hard to see. But you can change that by going over this in multiple passes, or slowing it down a little bit, and it will give you different effects. So just by slowing it down a little bit, you can see how much darker it gets. And it does have a different effect on black acrylic. And this is something I did in a previous video using a diode laser. And I thought it would be a perfect example to show the difference between the two using the same material and pattern. I also set the resolution for this at 4K. And by doing that, it made this take about an hour and a half to finish. But as you can see, this came out extremely clean. That being said, it looks like there was 2 spots where it burnt through a little too much. So I probably could have set this to be a little bit faster, but overall it looks pretty good. And like I said at the beginning of this video, it can also engrave on metal. So this is a solid sheet of copper. And I'm just having it engrave a QR code real quick, and you can see how dark it is in the metal. And once that's done, it looks a little bit muddy, so if you clean it off with an alcohol wipe, you can see how crisp and clear it is. And just like the plastics, you can get darker or lighter markings depending on your settings. So if you do end up getting one of these, I highly suggest testing out your settings on scrap pieces of the same material. And this laser also works pretty well on stainless steel, so you can customize things really quick. I even used it to put some sizing on tools of mine that didn't have any. And you're not limited to just what will fit directly underneath it, because you can tilt the entire laser head at an angle. That way you can line it up flat with other objects. Or if you pop out the bottom part of the cutting area, you can just put it on something and engrave that way. There's also a rotary attachment that I didn't get with mine that will allow you to engrave on round objects. And this is a fiber laser, but it is only 2 watts, so you're not going to be cutting through any materials, at least not in an efficient manner. But as you've seen, it does a great job on marking on metals and plastics. And on the screen you can see all the materials it can work with and the ones that it can't. And to run the laser itself, they have their own software for this that you can use on your mobile devices or your computer. And I prefer to use it on the computer over the phone just because it seems like you have more ability to do things. So it's definitely a very interesting and powerful tool, depending on how you're going to use it. That being said, this is not a cheap laser by any means. And as of recording this, it's about $1,500 for the basic one that I have. So definitely a hard pill to swallow for someone doing this as a hobby. But I could totally see using this as a tool for business, and being able to personalize things really quick with extremely high detail. But those are just my thoughts after using this. And I would like to know what you think of this in the comments below. And if you're looking for more info on this or to get one, I'll have a link in the description below to their website. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!